How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto. Ni hao. Of course, today we have a very exciting episode for you today. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about Cardano. We're also going to be talking about the fulfillment of a prediction that I made, which was that this recent bump that we saw up, the Bitcoin 8,168 of recent high, the highs that we saw, sort of coming crashing down. We're going to be following up, talking about Charles Hoskinson, talking about Cardano, some of these different comments, and of course a lot of these different articles and news events. But of course, I'd like to start off the video with this Peter Schiff talking about Bitcoin in June 2011. So furthermore, let's get into it.
If I'm gonna put my wealth, if I'm gonna take $10,000 and store them in Bitcoms, how do I know that a year or two from now anybody is going to accept them for anything? What if it's a fad and nobody wants them? See, the thing with gold is gold has value all by itself. If I don't have to be able to spend it, I can melt it down, I can make it into jewelry, I can use it in electronics. It has all sorts of properties that make gold intrinsically value all by itself, right? It doesn't have to be traded.
So, I mean, I don't think that we have any, that's a funny example of like sort of an okay boomer moment. This is what will happen with 10K stored Bitcoin versus gold then and now, which I think is pretty hilarious. You want to talk about something like gold, I mean, in the concept of a digital asset. I think that I include this video, this in the video, just because I think that it is a interesting point of reference when you want to talk about the perception of the old paradigm versus what we're seeing happening now, and in particular with how people are quick to use past reference points to try and understand how these things, and this does apply indefinitely when we want to talk about Bitcoin, and we want to talk about the upcoming potential that we could see from something like Cardano. This Cardano Foundation achievement could pay off as ADA turns bullish. So this is an interesting segue, I believe. In recent Blogspot post, the Cardano Foundation revealed that 2019 was a transformational year for the nonprofit organization, as well as the development of its native cryptocurrency ADA. The foundation's team expanded to more than 20 people across 12 countries, including Canada, China, Germany, Japan, and Portugal, consequently pushing the growth of the Cardano community to more than 1.1 million individuals worldwide. And of course, we have looked at our legal affairs. So, I mean, it is interesting just to see, what's going on with Cardano. And, Monero flips Tron, Cardano, Tezos break into the top 10. This is also an interesting article. Nonetheless, there are no specific fundamental events or news that analysts can pin to justify XMR rally. However, comments from influential figures and the general change in sentiment and recovery in digital asset prices across the board seem to benefit the private focused coin. Moreover, Monero's hash rate, or the computing power of the network, is at an all-time high. Cardano community now has over 1 million individuals. Expect more announcement in 2020. This is an interest. I mean, I've got to sort of pat your back for this one. I mean, we do have a great community on this channel. A great community growing. On all sorts of different platforms, and for everybody who follows us on Twitter, everybody who follows us on all these different videos that we've been making. I mean, you guys are the Cardano community, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We are doing some very important work on this side of the internet, and it is important to talk about. So I mean, this sort of does lead a lot in a large sense to what we have been talking about. Hoskinson teases sale of behind-the-scenes projects. This is also interesting as well, just to see exactly what's been going on in the mind of the geniuses who are putting a lot of this stuff forward. It is very interesting just to see how Cardano has been making a lot of very interesting developments in the way of a lot of these different things. So Bitcoin's next macro uptrend may start sooner than you think. Bitcoin finds support at 7777. Here's why that's so important. This sort of is relevant to the predictions that have been proved to be true that we made in previous videos. Bitcoin's recent climb as highs of 8,400 was met with a significant amount of selling pressure that overwhelmed the crypto's buyers and appeared to have results in a strong rejection. The overt rejection led the cryptocurrency to low as 77 blah 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 new a few hours ago. So it is interesting. The contradictory news. We got right here, Brazilian bank threatens to close crypto exchanges accounts. That sort of is relevant, and we'll get to that in a second. But over 10 million Bitcoins are being hodled. And I remember, I don't have the figure right off the top of my head, but there is this interesting, if anybody has it, put it in the comments down below, of what actual percentage of wallets contain a full Bitcoin, which I find quite fascinating. So, dead drops or transform darknet practices. This is interesting as well. We don't really have time to discuss it in detail right now, attached firms partners with blockchain company to track ad speeds. Ad spends. Donald Trump's shameless stock market pump could affect Bitcoin. This is interesting. I think that the stock market and all these different things are just a ticking time bomb. A house of cards at that. I'm not really too concerned with the day-to-day tweets of Trump. But anyway, Trump seems to be trying to pump the stock market further through an elated tweet he posted earlier today. Let's not forget that Bitcoin's price also tends to follow stock market booms. Bitcoin has had a long-standing relationship with the stock market. In fact, S&P 500 rallies have been closely correlated with Bitcoin's own rallies. And I think that this also has a lot to do with people who've been putting new money, of course, in the millennial generation now, getting jobs, moving out of their parents' basement, and investing in stuff like cryptocurrency, which does sort of have a lot to do. As these things move forward, we will see, all these different things. But I like this one. Bitcoin will never hit 10 cents. Bitcoin will never hit $1. Bitcoin will never hit 100. Bitcoin will never hit 1,000. Bitcoin will never hit 10,000. Bitcoin will never hit 100,000. We are here. And that will be a very important historical moment when that finally does occur. For people like me, I'm just happy to see the price going down. I hope something like this. Bitcoin just got rejected at 8,400, and it means a big fall ahead. Bitcoin is showing first signs of a weakening upside momentum as traders adjust their sentiments near key resistance areas. So it will be interesting. Let's hope to get some sales. Some cheap Bitcoin would be nice. And I would be in favor of that. With all the like, I would be interested in seeing some cheap Cardano as well. That whole concept of digital gold, being the trademark of the Bitcoin age, and now we're starting to move into the world of the smart contracts, and of course, what we are seeing happening right now is in part lended in a large sense to the demand of what we see, in terms of technology and all these different things. But I digress. So of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm merely here giving you guys my humble opinion when it comes to these things. So of course, remember to comment down below letting us know what you think. Always interested in hearing your perspectives. And all that being said, make sure that you guys subscribe, put on post notifications, and of course comment down below letting us know what country you are watching this video from. Always interested in hearing all that information. It is helpful data for the channel. And all that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I am FaZe Crypto, and you've been watching Crypto Clout. Stay relevant, y'all. I'm out.